You're listening to New England Real Estate Journal Radio with Rick Kaplan, New England source for commercial real estate news. This is New England Real Estate Journal Radio on the Money Matters Radio Network and online at moneymattersboston.com.
Welcome to the New England Real Estate Journal Radio Show. I'm Rick Kaplan with my co-host. Oh, I'm sorry, I said co-host.
It's all right. That's what I am.
With Eric Wilson. And we're here today in the city of Hartford, Connecticut, downtown Hartford, Connecticut, beautiful downtown Hartford, Connecticut. And we're in the Salute restaurant. And we have with us James Cosgrove. He's one of the owners of the restaurant. Good morning, James.
Good morning.
So
thanks for being here at my restaurant.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Beautiful restaurant.
Yeah. And you even have a nice sidewalk cafe out there.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Beautiful day for a view, too, of the park.
Yeah, that's right. There's a park right across the street from the I don't know, outside seating.
The terrace?
The terrace.
Patio.
The patio,
Patio.
yeah. And it's probably, at night, it's probably beautiful out there.
It is.
Yeah, you have a nice glass of wine and a nice Italian meal.
It's a big draw. It's nice, too, because we're right off the highway, so as soon as people drive in, one of the first things they see is people sitting outside in our patio having a glass of wine.
And this
Nice.
this boulevard is, they were just telling me, this is one of the oldest boulevards or something like that.
Trumbull Street's one of the oldest streets in town.
Yeah?
A lot of history here in Hartford.
Yeah, well.
How long have you been here at your Trumbull location?
We've been here a little over 4.5 years now. I've been in the city of Hartford for a little over 30 years right now.
Oh, wow. And have you seen, you've obviously seen Hartford change as we're going through a bunch of developments right now. What is were you always in this location? Or
No.
You didn't?
No, I've been in a couple different locations. Hartford's a lot smaller than people think. Anywhere in this city is walking distance. A lot of things that are going on right now in the city are making it more conducive to walk or trying to get people to walk or understand how close everything is.
Right.
Yeah, no, so tell us a little bit about what kind of food.
We're an authentic Italian restaurant, but we try to offer a little bit of everything for anybody. We have steaks, fresh seafood, a lot of pasta. Pasta is what we do best. We have a couple of Asian dishes.
Italian Asian dishes.
Italian Asian
Yeah,
dishes.
salute.
Oh, yeah. But we try to be very eclectic. You know, a lot of times you get people who just had dinner last night. There are a lot of business people that come into town on Monday nights in Hartford, stay in town for a couple nights. So they might have gone out on Tuesday night for an Italian dinner. So when they come in here for dinner on Wednesday, we want to make sure they have an alternative.
Oh, so, I mean, you have a full menu.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have to try the food before we leave.
Oh, we're definitely doing lunch here.
My guess, right, as soon as we're done.
Well, that's James Cosgrove, the owner of Salute Restaurant. And they're
on Trumbull Street.
I was just going to mention that.
Okay.
Yeah, you're pushing me, Eric.
Hey,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
just
pushing
throwing
me.
it out there.
On 100 Trumbull Street in Hartford, Connecticut. And if you want to have a great dinner with a glass of wine and sit out on the patio, look over the park, you know, it's a beautiful place to do that. So come on down to Salute Restaurant and ask for James. He'll be more than happy to see you here.
We'll greet you with a big smile and say welcome to Hartford every time.
Great.
At least we'll try to.
Fantastic.
Hey, you're listening to the New England Real Estate Journal, and we'll be right back on Money Matters Radio Network.
Rick Kaplan and Eric Wilson, right here on the Money Matters Radio Network and online at moneymattersboston.com.
And we're back on New England Real Estate Journal Radio. I'm Rick Kaplan with Eric Wilson, and we have with us, Thomas Deller.
You can call me Tom, that's fine.
Tom Deller. We're good friends now, so it's Tom Deller. He's the Director of
Development Services.
Development Services. And we have, and this is going to be a tough one for me, Lauren Vajavedian.
Perfect. First try.
And Lauren is the Marketing and Cultural Specialist in Hartford as well.
Correct.
And one of the things, there's some big news for Hartford right now.
Yes, there is.
And it has to do with the oldest sport in the country.
That's correct. Back in early June, the mayor announced with the council president that the New Britain Rockcats will be coming to Hartford in 2016.
So now Hartford's going to be competing with the Red Sox.
Well, maybe we're the Rockcats are Minnesota Twins affiliate, but we have to get ourselves a ball stadium built by April of 16, so we can have that first pitch.
So we need some developers to come down and build that ballpark.
You got it.
Yeah.
You know, a few weeks back, we put out a request for proposals for the development of our downtown north neighborhood. We've talked about it in the past on this show, Dono. We're seeking proposals for a public-private partnership to build the ballpark, to do some retail, some housing, and maybe even office space based on what our studies have shown should happen in this neighborhood.
Now, you also have a hotel that will be near this ballpark. But you're looking for additional hotel.
I think given what we've talked to the baseball team about and the need for hotel nights, and given the things that are happening at our convention center, we do need more hotel rooms. And so, yeah, a hotel would be a great addition to that development.
Now, actually, when I was coming off the highway, I saw the convention center right over here. How old is that? That couldn't be too old.
10 years old, more or less.
Wow. That's a beautiful building.
It is a great building, and I think there's a lot. People forget how much has happened in the city and how much development has happened in the last 10 years. I mean, right now, there's about 1,000 units of housing in construction right in the downtown, which will bring our residential total in downtown to about 2,800 units. There's another 600-800 on the drawing boards. We've had 4 new businesses move into downtown. Lincoln Financial renewed its lease. The Hartford Insurance Group just announced that they're going to relocate 800 workers back into downtown. So we're really seeing an upsurge in things happening here in the city.
But a lot of the buildings I noticed are fairly new, or they have been renovated.
There's been a lot of renovation, a lot of potential. But, you know, when we did our downtown north plan, we really tried to identify those things that could happen to really move Hartford to the next level. And one of the reasons Lauren's here is really talk about some of the exciting things happening in the city that help give life and vitality. You know, it's not just jobs. It's not just housing. We need this to be a great place to live, to have fun. We've talked a lot about in promoting economic growth in the city. We need to promote what I call the entertainment value of the city. Think about what happens here 365 days.
Right, to live, work, and play.
That's right.
And that seems to be a theme of a lot of the cities in town. Well, cities that are, except for like the major Boston, New York City.
Well, I think we spend a lot of time looking at cities that grow, you know, and have expanded. And Hartford County is one of the top counties for both jobs and economy in this country. And Hartford sort of suffers a little because we haven't been thinking clearly about where we want to move and grow. And so we look at places like Boston. We look at what neighborhoods of New York have done. We look at other things that have happened out there and say, how can we learn? And I think that the live, work, and play is one of the things that we need to really work on.
Yeah, no, I know Lauren is dying to say something here.
Well, I think that it's important to highlight that there is life in Hartford after the 9 to 5. You know, a lot of people don't think of Hartford as a place to come and have arts and culture, entertainment, great food, such as restaurants like Salute. So it's really, really important to show people that there's a lot going on, not only just the theater during the week and on the weekends, but other just smaller organizations that are activating Hartford both in the downtown and in the neighborhoods.
Yeah, you know, this restaurant, for instance, Salute. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a beautiful corner. You know, I can't see why people let an area like this go. You know, right across from the park. It looks like this building has been renovated not too long ago.
Well, this building was built about 10, 12 years ago. It's residential above and this retail on the ground floor. But you talk about this great corner. Just this past weekend in Bushnell Park, we had the Jazz Festival, 3-day festival. Unbelievable crowds, unbelievable excitement and vitality in downtown. A crowd of people that usually don't see in the city.
Mm-hmm.
No, and it's easy to move around in the city as well.
Right. We're working right now. There's construction going on outside the windows here. That's part of our intermodal triangle. It's an attempt to try to better connect bus, rail, vehicle, vehicle, when I use vehicle, I also use bicycle because I'm an avid bicycle rider, but better ways to move around the city and interconnect us. And part of the rail improvement, we're working with Amtrak to improve access by rail to New York so that in the next 2 years the system will be electrified and will cut a good 50 minutes off the time limit from Hartford to New York.
As it is, Hartford is considered one of the most walkable and easiest wayfinding cities in the country. It's very, very easy to get from point A to point B and find your way around
Actually,
Hartford.
I did find that because when I got off the highway, and there were some detour signs, but it brought me right here.
Which is exactly what we want.
The only problem is, I'm not as bright as some of the other people probably come to Hartford because I was walking at the other. I was walking to the other end of the street to find the restaurant, but we made it here.
Good.
The people in Hartford are good at giving directions to the people, the pedestrians.
We like to think of ourselves as a friendly bunch. So
yes, everyone seemed to be friendly when we asked them, what direction should we go? But there's also a lot of other things besides the jazz festival that you had.
There's a lot of activity in terms of.
Well, I don't want you to go into too much of it right now because we're going to go to a break.
Okay.
So when we come to the break, come back from the break, I want to talk a little bit about that.
Wonderful.
Good.
So we'll be right back on Money Matters Radio Network.
Rick Kaplan and Eric Wilson, right here on the Money Matters Radio Network and online at moneymattersboston.com.
And we're back on New England Real Estate Journal Radio. I'm Rick Kaplan with Eric Wilson. You like that, Eric?
I like how you're doing it now.
And we have with us Thomas Deller. Tom, my friend Tom.
Yeah, that's
Tom
right,
Deller.
your friend.
And we have Lauren Vajabedian.
Wow, second time.
I like saying it over
I
and over.
I almost thought you were going to clap out the syllables.
Yeah.
And Lauren handles marketing and the cultural she's a cultural specialist for the city of Hartford. And she was telling us a little bit about some of the other events that are going on. But it looks like Tom now has something.
Oh, no, I'll let Lauren go on.
Okay.
Well, one of the big things that Hartford prides itself on is all of the different rich cultural neighborhoods that we have, and we have become very good at celebrating them in the summertime in the city of Hartford. Coming up, we have the Caribbean Jerk Festival, we have the West Indian Day Parade, we have the Latin Jazz Fest, and then we have Pipes in the Valley. And all of these things happen on our riverfront plaza, and it just becomes such an active, amazing space to celebrate all of the beautiful cultures that make up Hartford and that bring together our community. Last year alone, Riverfront Plaza brought in just a little under 1 million people. Wow. So it just kind of goes to show you the draws that for these festivals that happen.
Now, the river, is that already developed?
Yes, the Riverfront Recapture started about 20 years ago, and it's really developed about 2/3 of the riverfront on this side of the city is developed, and about the same amount in the East Hartford side. There are plans to expand it, and it's a series of bike walks and art. There's an art walk. There's a boat launch and others. And one of the big festivals coming up is the Dragon Boat Festival. I think it's August 19th or somewhere around there.
August 16th and 17th.
Oh, I was close.
Well, that sounds interesting. What's the Dragon Boat?
Well, on the first day is a series of amateur teams. In fact, the city floats 2 or 3 teams out there to compete and try to win. And of course, there is the competition among the surrounding communities. 2 years ago, we came in first place, and we won that. Last year, we came in third place. We have to do better this year. But on Sunday, there are professional dragon boat race teams that are out there that compete. And it's a great Asian festival, good Asian food, good excitement, a bunch of Chinese dragon dances and others.
For whatever reason, that mic keeps cutting out. But going back, what is a
dragon boat?
Oh, it's
Is that what you're going to ask?
I was going to ask him what is a dragon, but I have no idea.
It's a very long, narrow boat with a dragon head at the front and a dragon tail at the back. There is a drummer who drums the beat at which you paddle, and there is a team of 20 rowers.
Wow.
Huh.
Can you imagine that many government officials pulling the same time? Wow.
And all
cooperating as they move.
Yeah.
And they're all going in the right direction.
That's right.
What about the Caribbean Jerk Festival? What is the Caribbean Jerk? Is that like jerk as in like
Jerk,
meat,
yep,
like jerky,
jerked
like meat?
food.
Nice.
So it's that jerk is just what they call the spices that are used.
Right.
Not what you usually
yeah.
refrain to me about.
Well, at first I was thinking like I didn't know, but I figured it had to do with food, and I was pretty excited. What day is that?
That is on August 2nd, so that's fast approaching.
A week from Saturday.
But
nice.
make sure you skip breakfast and come on down here because you can. There's a lot of really great food that they have available there.
Fantastic.
Now, how is this set up? Did anyone can just walk into this?
Yep,
Or
those are that is a free event that anyone can come to, and obviously you have to pay for food and drink and whatever little tchotchkes you want to pick up along the way. But the same goes for almost all of the festivals and events that happen on the Riverfront Plaza are free and open to the public.
Oh, that's pretty impressive.
Actually, a majority of the big festivals and gatherings in Hartford are free and open to the public.
Now, is that what you do primarily, is set up these type of events?
So the Marketing Events and Cultural Affairs Division, we do host a few events that we run and put together, but really our main priority is to support the other organizations in the city that want to put events on and within Hartford, and we are actually growing to the point that there are organizations that are not from Hartford, that are national organizations that want to come in and start hosting their events in Hartford.
Nice.
Come down with your bicycle, get in the Hartford Criterion and enter a bike race. Or if you're more leisurely, you could do the park tour, which is a bike ride. We have 3 versions. The short version, which is 10 miles.
That's short.
That's the short version. Then there's the middle range version, which is 25. And then there's the longer version, which is about 44. And you get to, what it is a tour of all the parks that the city of Hartford owns and operates. And what's interesting about Hartford, we actually have parks in 6 different communities that we own and operate. So it's not just in Hartford, and that's why we get so many miles.
Wow.
So do you have any of those bike taxis?
I think we could try to find one for you.
Yeah, that's more my style.
How do they feel about water guns and watering down the marathoners?
To me, if I were running, that would be great. I don't know. Do you know, Lauren?
I don't want to know anything about water guns of any nature.
I don't think that would.
What about Wickham Park? Is that one of those 6? Is that like the one up in Manchester?
No, that's not ours.
All right. I just know because I was there for the Greater Hartford Open 2 weekends ago for the disc golf championship.
Yeah, he's a big.
Did you win the disc golf?
No, I finished somewhere near the bottom per usual, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time.
Great.
But he did get a disc.
I did.
Wow.
I got a bunch of discs. It was really cool.
So there's so much going on here.
I know.
I'm trying to grasp a little bit of what the first thing that I would want to talk about here, because there's so much going on. You have the riverfront, you have the downtown area here.
Dono.
And you have Dono, and then is it Sono?
Sodo's the south side of the city. Well, you talk about it. I've been with Hartford now a little over almost 2.5 years, and when the mayor first asked me to come here and take this job, I kept saying, well, not much is happening in Hartford. And I got here and realized that a lot of that is perception. There's a lot of fantastic things happening in the city, but people have this perception of Hartford as a dying city with nothing happening. And I get here and you see great restaurants like this, you see all the arts and all the events that are happening, and then you sit down and look at the development that's happening. I mean, we have close to $1 billion worth of construction happening in the city right now, and people say, really? And we just keep working and looking at other things. We have the proposals coming in for our Downtown North project with that public-private partnership. We're really looking for great partnerships there. We're going to build a ballpark. We're hopefully get other housing and other retail going on. We've had some interest from some supermarket chains, and we've talked to some other potential developers. In fact, a local brewery, Hooker Brewery, which is a local craft brewery, has announced that they're going to submit a proposal to move downtown here into Hartford and open up a brewing facility and a restaurant.
Well, like they say, if you build them, they'll come.
Well, you build a brewery, I'll be there.
Yeah, right. I was going to say the same.
But I mean, if you have that if you have the nightlife, you have all these events that go on throughout the summer. What about the winter?
Well, in the winter, we have Winterfest that happens down in Bushnell Park, where the city of Hartford, this is one of the sponsored events that we put on, builds a 90 by 90 foot ice skating rink that's free to the public. Anyone who wants to come down from the day after Thanksgiving all the way to February 1st. And within that time frame, we have beer gardens that come out, we have organizations that come out and do free skates with the hockey team that's in town. So there's a lot of activation even outside as much as there is inside still within the wintertime.
So you have year-round events.
It's
busy all the time.
I am busy 25 hours a day, 365 days a year.
Oh, well.
And she's not getting overtime.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that was a plug for a raise.
And I am glad she has that job, not us.
Yeah, because 3 hours is a lot.
Hey, we do. Yeah, I agree. 3 hours a week to put together one radio show. We're awesome.
Yeah.
But we also even have a lot of, outdoor winter activities. We have like the Santa runs and, the sleigh bell runs that people do. So a lot of people love activating Hartford even in the wintertime.
Well, I have to tell you, in November, we put on these networking events for the New England Real Estate Journal, where we bring all the people from our industry together, and we're planning on doing it in Connecticut.
You should do it in Hartford.
So we had decided right now that we're going to do it in Hartford.
Great. That is awesome.
Okay.
And we'll assign Lauren to work with you.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that will be on the 26th hour.
26th hour.
Well, I thank you guys coming on.
With all the running and biking, you guys must have an extremely healthy city with those of the activities. I mean, you just mentioned 5 runs and 4 bike rides.
It's funny. There was a piece on the radio, I forget which station the other day, talking about who posts the most about physical activity. And Connecticut was 5th in the country on posting on Twitter about activity and physical activity. So I guess we have an active crowd here. And, I love riding my bike. I'm trying to escape work this afternoon and go out for an hour or so.
Well, you have these beautiful parks.
Right.
And the streets and the sidewalks are beautiful around here as well. Although, at what we're seeing,
everything looks clean.
We're trying hard.
Yeah, so it looks great. And, with the baseball team coming in, it's, that's going to help.
So we just need all these developers listening to come here and start building in Hartford.
And, we have heard some, little talk about it, some of the developers that have interest on it.
We need some bigger talk. I'm all ears.
Well, that's what we're building it up. We're building it up.
Definitely. I also think that they should check out Twitter. Hartford Has It.
Yeah.
And you can find out all the wonderful things going on with that. You can talk more about that.
Yeah, Hartford Has It is the official tagline of Hartford. So whenever you folks come down to Hartford and do something fun and amazing, don't forget to hashtag Hartford Has It so we can retweet it and brag about it and boast about the amazing time you had in downtown Hartford or in Hartford in general.
Well, it's fantastic. I think, I'm going to come to Hartford a lot more than I used to. Well, I haven't come to Hartford at all in the past, but now I'm going to come to Hartford.
Well, we can't wait to have you.
No, and I some of these things sound like a lot of fun to do as well. So
going to the brewery is.
Yeah. Well, we know where Tom likes to ride his bike.
Right.
Good thing he's not driving. I want to thank you guys for coming on. Hartford is a beautiful city, and the Dono program, I'm sure that's going to explode. Once that baseball team comes in, we'll be here watching the games. So I wish you good luck with all of that.
Thank you.
We're talking with, I'm going to try one last time, Lauren.
All right, third time's a charm.
Lauren Vajabedian.
Perfect. You are
a marketing and cultural
better.
specialist in the city of Hartford, Connecticut. And Thomas Deller, he is the Director of Development Services.
Correct.
And We'll be right back on Money Matters Radio Network.
Rick Kaplan and Eric Wilson, right here on the Money Matters Radio Network and online at moneymattersboston.com.
And we're back on New England Real Estate Journal Radio. I'm Rick Kaplan with Eric Wilson. And I thought we were finished with these people from Hartford, Connecticut, but they have more to talk about.
Yeah, we just won't leave.
So we're talking with Tom Deller and Lauren Bajabedian.
Oh.
And
I thought he blew it.
No.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear the claps for all the syllables you were using.
But we forgot to mention there's another part of the whole project that's going on through Hartford, which is the iConnect.
So the iConnect project is a grant that the Marketing, Events, and Cultural Affairs team applied for last year through the DECD. And we the
Department of Economic and Community Development for the state of Connecticut.
Okay.
You thought my name was hard. That was a lot harder. And so it was a $100,000 grant, and we used it to reimagine retail in downtown Hartford and take an artistic approach. I know that it was done in New Haven last year where they kind of had more of a project storefront, so it was really just popping up. We took the time to really curate the type of businesses that we were going to bring in and help develop and kind of get their sea legs in Hartford. And I have to say that it's a great success. We have 2 stores that are signing long-term leases to stay in the downtown, and we have another store that is working on negotiations right now.
So you're talking about a program that is bringing retail and shopping back into the area as well.
Correct, but really with an artistic approach to it. We were not looking to bring in a kind of a big box store. This needed to be something that was very holistic and really talk to what Hartford, the residents of Hartford wanted and needed.
If I may, I think one of the things we try to do through iConnect is really start thinking about the specialty type of retail that you can't get in your commercial strips. The things that would make us special and would draw people into the city so they could go to a place like Hartford Prints and see this creative printing and pictures and T-shirts and things that they do. And so it's things like that.
So, and this is an outside walking retail area.
So naturally, Dogs and Cats is literally 2 doors up from where we are right now. Hartford Denim Company is up at the top of the street where you were this morning.
Yeah, I visited all that area.
And Hartford Prince is on our historic Pratt Street, which is a beautiful little cobblestone street in the downtown. So they're all very much so within walking distance.
So that's a great, and the parking in the area here, it seems like you have quite a bit of it.
Parking is very easy in Hartford if you know where to park, which is on the street or in the garage. We make it very, very easy for people to park in Hartford, and we encourage people to park in a garage and then walk around and really kind of explore and experience all that Hartford has to offer.
Well, I was noticing I didn't see any parking meters.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I didn't see one parking meter.
They're there.
Are they?
We have gang meters, so we have one kiosk in the middle of a block, and you go put your money in and put your little strip in.
No, that's a great idea, though.
Yeah, it reduces the amount of clutter on a sidewalk and makes the sidewalks more appealing.
Yeah, so when you go through the machine, you just put your money in or your credit card.
Right.
And then you just put that tag on your windshield.
On your windshield, that's right.
Yeah. No, I like that because, you don't have to fumble around for your change.
But that is a lot more walking for you now, Rick. You have to walk up to the kiosk, then walk back to your car, and then walk to your destination.
That's true. That is
so
true.
It's also another healthy alternative.
It is a healthy alternative. That's right. Get you that exercise.
Exactly.
That's right. Well, no, I'll just wait for Tom to ride by on his bike.
I'll pick you up and give you a lift.
Yeah, hopefully he's pulling a radio flyer for you.
Yeah, a wagon that can pull around. So the downtown area, there's, I want to finish up and put the icing on the cake,
So to
so-called.
speak.
You know, the final words on what you think of what the project is, or what's happening with all this.
Well, I
project.
think, the downtown is a large area here in Hartford, and we have tried very hard to bring back and create it as a vibrant and exciting neighborhood. It's not just about living. It's about the creative retail. It's about the recreation. It's about the ability to walk from one place to the other. It's about the mass transit that gives you a whole variety of options of places where you can go and how you can get to a job or get to a vacation or somewhere else. And as we look to build out downtown north, as we look to take that area just on the other side of 84, we're looking at how we develop that in the same way as a historic downtown, how we make it a walkable, vibrant community that has lots of housing and lots of that specialty retail, that really great coffee shop, right, little pastry shop, or our brewery, as we've talked before, where I can sit and get that homemade beer with my burger and really enjoy the place. Or maybe walk over and watch a baseball game in the summertime evenings, or figure out how we use that stadium in a variety of different ways throughout the season so it can be a place to gather and to recreate. And so we're really looking for downtown north to become that extension of our neighborhood, that extension that fills in a hole, a crater, so to speak, between the neighborhoods to the north and downtown, and creates a new vibrant center that connects downtown and our neighborhoods.
Well, I get a feeling when I just walked up the street here, and I noticed that everything like you're saying is a unique shopping area. You have unique events that are going on, so it's not like your everyday downtown area.
We are trying to be a city like cities used to be.
Yeah, it's almost like you would want to come here to vacation. You know, there's a lot of different things to do here.
Well, we didn't talk about the art scene. We didn't talk about Wadsworth Atheneum, our great theater, great art gallery, or the Hartford Stage, our Tony Award-winning theater. I mean, there's lots of opportunity to do a whole variety of things, whether it's sports or artistic or everything in between.
So, well, and it's also not too far from the seacoast.
No.
So,
for those days you want to go down
right.
and wade in the ocean, it's about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on which beach you decide to go to.
Yeah, and the beaches in Connecticut are beautiful.
They are.
So you have a lot of things to offer for city life. And actually, it's a less stressful city life, it seems.
My job's a little stressful, but yes, it is a less stressful city life. You get to enjoy and relax.
Well, Lauren's working 25 hours, so
yeah, I'm a piker. I'm not working nearly that hard.
But she's also putting on some great events here.
Yes, she is.
So you said 25 hours, but how much of it is spent going to all these great events?
That's actually a majority of what it is.
So it's not so-called work. It's a lot of play.
It's really, I feel like it's quality control. I really have to taste everything at all of the festivals.
That sounds like my job.
Yeah.
It is.
So I can really, testify to all that great food that's being served up.
Well, I think that all the food does sound great. You have Asian, you have Caribbean, and
Latin, Pipes in the Valley, and that's
what is Pipes in the Valley? Is that bagpipes?
Correct.
Nice, Scottish.
Yeah, it's a little bit of
William Wallace right there.
Scotch and cigars.
Right.
Oh, that's my style.
That's his stuff.
I love that. That's like a perfect day.
I thought that was your dinner.
Yeah. Rick, sometimes.
Rick, you work with me 8 hours a day, then go home and have your dinner, scotch and a cigar to forget it.
Dinner of champions.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, sometimes I have to have the scotch during the day.
Yeah,
I'm working with you.
I can imagine. Now, if someone wanted to follow along on the developments that are taking place on the Dono project or any of the other majority of you have like 4 or 5 major projects going on right now, how would someone follow along to see where you are in those development stages?
Well, there's a variety of ways. I think one of the places we try to keep information up and ongoing is the city's webpage, www.hartford.gov. There's a variety of information there. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Where else are we, Lauren?
Facebook, Twitter, hartford.gov, in your own backyard.
And you can also come down to the city of Hartford and see what's going on.
And as we said earlier, people think of us as that little city that nothing's really happening. Lots is happening here, and you got to come down and experience. You got to see what we're doing and come down and really invest in this city.
Yeah, and the commute, the ride from either Boston or New York is not terrible.
It's not bad at all.
And it's a break from that hustle and bustle city.
It is. It's a fun city.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say too. As we were coming in, it's the speed of the typical pedestrian walker isn't what we're accustomed to in Boston. Do you know? I know that sounds kind of bizarre, but like we're walking down the street and it's kind of almost everyone's kind of taking almost like you're in a southern city.
So in other words, you're running them over as you're walking down the street.
Kind of like it's almost like
it's a leisure.
Atlanta
yeah.
or like Charlotte, where it just seems to be like, hey, we'll get there when we get there. Where you're in the city of New York or in Boston, everyone's heads down and they're piping through, listening to their music, and they're getting there before one song's over.
Right.
You know?
So you're telling us it's a great city to come and live in and have a great time.
Very impressed with that, and also the cleanliness, the green too. I love all the green.
Right.
Trees,
Well, that's
the
one of the
parks.
nice things here. You do have a lot of green.
Yeah.
Which you don't see. Actually, a lot of cities are trying to do that.
Right. To compete.
You already
with
have it
Hartford.
in place.
We have lots of great parks in the city. In fact, we have the first publicly funded public park in the country here in Bushnell Park, right across the street.
Wow.
And
That's crazy.
that's a beautiful looking
It
park.
is. Yeah.
Maybe we'll have lunch. We'll sit out on the patio
And
we'll
look at it.
Look
Right.
at it,
and then you can walk the park, and we'll all wait to
Yeah,
get
well,
back.
we'll talk. We'll talk about that. We were talking with Thomas Steller, the director of Development Services, and Eric.
I love how you always look after you say it like.
Well, I want to
I'm
make
right,
sure.
right?
Yeah, well,
I'm not wrong. I didn't
I
mess
wanna
this
make
up, did
sure.
I?
I want to make sure. And Lauren Bajabedian. I'm getting.
Man, you're on
I'm
fire.
getting better and better
You
at it.
get
Yeah.
2 gold stars
was
for
gonna
that
say,
one.
you
That
like-
was just seamless.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
she's
was.
the marketing and cultural specialist here in Hartford, Connecticut. And I thank you both for coming on.
Thank you.
And I encourage anyone listening to come down and visit and consider developing in the city.
And if they do to consider that, how would they get a hold of you to talk about these?
Well, they can email me at tdeller@hartford.gov. They can call me at 860-757-9024.
And your home number?
860 blah, 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 blah.
The color of your bicycle?
Black.
Nice.
I think.
And also,
Oh.
just want to let people know if they want to stay up to date on all the events that are happening in Hartford, they can go to hartford.com.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much.
And we'll be right back on Money Matters Radio Network.
Rick Kaplan and Eric Wilson, right here on the Money Matters Radio Network and online at moneymattersboston.com.
And we're back on New England Real Estate Journal Radio. I'm Rick Kaplan with Eric Wilson. And I think we had a great show.
Fantastic.
I'm
Tom and Laura
impressed.
were great.
I'm impressed with this city, Hartford, Connecticut.
I am as well. I happened to be here a couple weeks ago, as I said earlier. But, cleanliness is just such a huge thing for me. I'm from the obviously South Shore. It's all green, and I love the fact that we drove in. It was all green.
But what Tom was mentioning before at the beginning of the show, the perception of Hartford when
Right.
he was hired, his perception was, well, Hartford is really not much going on here.
Right.
But there's a lot of things
There
going
is,
on.
there is.
and then you have these beautiful parks.
I know. It looks like 2 different Boston Commons packed onto each other with the Bushnell Park. It looks, they're a little bit separate with the road, but it looks like the Boston Common.
And a lot of clean. Everything here is clean looking.
It just seems to have that
It does.
presentation.
Because you don't have. I didn't see one building that looked like it was falling apart.
Right.
It looks like almost every building in this area has been renovated or is a new building.
Right, and even the construction, when you drive by the construction sites, they look like they're all tidied and picked up, like someone's wrapping up a job, rather, even though they're probably just starting it in the
But you
middle.
have the history here as well. So you have a mixture, and they kept a lot of the buildings.
Yeah, they did. Just
They might have just changed,
Renovated.
them, but they kept the look.
right. To
So
keep
it's-
that historic
Yeah,
feel.
it does, and the bike was
Yeah.
originated here in Hartford, Connecticut.
Right. Mark
And-
Twain wrote Tom Sawyer here in Connecticut. Just learned that fun fact I wanted to share with everybody. Tom was supposed to.
I thought you were going to say Tom Sawyer wrote Mark Twain here.
I did the first time, but we edited that out, and you get the real thing on the show.
You were giving me a chance to correct you, and then you
And I took it away.
You took it back.
That's the kind of guy I am, Rick. I let you out there, make you feel like you have a chance, and then I just snatch it right away. I'm like the Red Sox.
Well, I want to thank Tom Deller, and also I want to thank Lauren Vajabedian for coming on. And I want to thank the city of Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah, don't forget the owner of
And I want to thank
James Cosgrove.
James Cosgrove, the owner of Salute.
Yeah, you got to come. This place, the ambience in here, we were supposed to tape the show outside in the patio so that we could have the overview of the Bushnell Park, but because the inside was so pretty, if I could use that word.
I would say the inside of this restaurant is very
Tuscan? Tuscan, right? Like, that's what I was thinking, like very just Tuscan.
Yeah.
And it really has great lighting, and we were really happy that he put us up here today to do the show.
And he has a great menu.
Which we're definitely going to dive into.
And we are going to test out the food before we leave.
So we can give him a big salute. You know?
Yeah, salute. Salute Restaurant. And on 100 Trumbull Road.
The oldest road in Hartford,
Street.
Another little fun history fact.
In Hartford, Connecticut. So when you're in the Hartford, Connecticut area.
All my disc golfers that listen to my show, I know you guys are out there. Don't forget when you come to Wickham Park to come down to downtown North Hartford. You could stay right across the street from Salute, the hotel, and get yourself a fine Italian meal so you're ready for the second round on day 2.
Now we have other things that we wanted to talk about before we leave. And September 25th in Providence, Rhode Island, we will be having cocktails and conversations at the Hilton in Providence.
Yep.
And if anyone is interested in tickets or if they're interested in sponsoring the event, there's some sponsorships available. They can contact us at 800-653-4993.
Wrong. It's 800-654-4993. Just so you guys know.
800-654. You know, that's why I have to look at my paper.
Yeah, right.
You know?
But that's why I'm here, to correct you.
Or you can contact us. Contact us at radio at nerej.com.
Did you have to read that one, too?
I did. I had to look at it. And we also have...
I know there's a golf event, IREM September 8th. Don't forget to check that out. You can go to iremboston.org, and you can find out about joining and putting your foursome in there to get out there and play with all the managers.
And next week, we're doing a recording.
Yes, we're recording from
the Troy Boston building.
We're going to be hanging off the side of the building.
We're going to be recording our show from the 19th story.
I know.
And they're going to be topping off the building with the final beam. So we're going to be on the top of that building. No safety harnesses.
We might have to call GSS up there, Nardine Ballou, to get up there and get me some of that safety equipment.
Right. So we can hang out the side of the building.
Yes, we can hang off and take the show.
No, but we're going to be doing the show from there. They're going to be topping off the building.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be doing our show while they're...
outside with a nice breeze up at the 19th floor. Are you afraid of heights by any chance?
Yes, I am.
Oh, so fantastic. So you'll probably mess up all the names and the numbers. You'll be too worried about
falling
off.
I think I'm going to be staying in the elevator.
Yeah, you'll do it in the elevator. We'll do a wireless communication.
Although, I thought they were going to use that big crane on the side of the building to hoist us up there.
To bring us up in slow motion, so you could get the feel of how high you really are. I'm actually excited for that show. That's kind of a cool thing. I'm really excited you booked that with them, and
I'm excited about it too. I think that's going to be a unique show. I don't think I haven't heard of anyone that has done a show like that.
Well, a rooftop
19th floor. It was all open.
Show?
All open. It's no windows, no walls.
Yeah. It's hopefully it's not raining. That would be a damper on our parade. But I would feel in
now this building is right off the Southeast Expressway, off 93. So, we'll
be all right. Easy traffic in and out.
Well, it'll be
unlike Hartford, which by the way was easy traffic in and out.
Tell me about it.
We were coming in. We were going. Oh, we're probably gonna catch the Hartford traffic. And we were in here in about 10 minutes.
I came up 95, 128, whichever you want to call it, going north. And Matt was with me, and we couldn't believe this traffic.
And it was probably at like 10 o'clock.
Until the Mass Pike. No, it wasn't 10 o'clock.
9:30?
Yeah, it was at 9 o'clock. But up until the Mass Pike from the probably, I would say, the Randolph area all the way up. Mm-hmm. I mean, it took us almost an hour and a half, 2 hours just to get to the Mass Pike.
Yeah. That's why we went south through 3 to jump across the 495 because we ain't trying to be in all that traffic.
Well, I had a couple of things I had to pick up. Otherwise, I would have had you go there and pick them up.
I was surprised you didn't ask me to go up there and pick them up.
I should have. So I think that's all we have going on.
Yeah, I know we're really busy and with preparing for that September Cocktails and Conversations series event, and that does take a little bit of time for you and I to get all of the pieces in place in order to put on another great show like we did up in Portsmouth. So, we're kind of busy with that. And also we're trying to enjoy some of the summer. We have extremely busy fall and spring because of all the networking events and trade shows.
That's when everything starts happening.
Yeah, exactly. So we've lucked out here with that.
So we're coming to the end of our show here in Hartford, Connecticut. Don't forget about the Dono project that's going on, or the Dono area.
Yeah, check out hartford.gov.
And, if you want to find out some information, you can contact Tom Deller. He did give his number out, but I don't remember it.
It started with an 860.
Yeah. But you can always catch him riding his bike up and down in the
I guess you could catch him if you run fast or if you're also on a bike.
Yeah. And they have a lot of different events. So, the perception that people have of Hartford.
Yeah.
Come to Hartford, you'll change that completely.
Right. You want to come up August 2nd, you can check out the Caribbean Jerk Festival.
Yeah.
I believe the 9th is the seafood one, right?
No, it's second Saturday for families.
Oh, okay.
That's a museum of art.
Nice.
The 16th, West Indian Parade and Festival. That's in Bushnell Park. And 17th, you have annual Keeney Park Family Day. 16th and 17th, the Dragon Boat and Asian
which
Festival.
we talked about earlier.
That
sounds like a really cool thing. I would like to see some of those boats, those dragon boats themselves.
Probably a pretty fun time.
Hopefully Laura will put some of those photos up on Twitter that we'll get to see if we can't make it. I know that the 17th I will be out at a disc golf tournament, so I won't be able to be here, but that'll be really cool to check out.
September 6th, the Latin Jazz and Salsa Festival.
Oh, I got to be here for that.
Yeah, a little salsa.
Yeah, wait till you see me shake these hips, Rick. These things are serious. Serious dance hips right here.
September 20th, Envision Fest in Bushnell Park. What Envision
I have no
Fest
idea.
is, I don't know. And 27th, Pipes in the Valley.
Nice. And
that's in Riverfront Plaza. And Eric, I think we are coming to the end.
Another great show.
Great show. So you know what? This deal is done.